Weakers, tweakers, thrill freaking seekers, welcome back to another freaking hilarious freaking episode of freaking Our Week in Review on WAYO LP freaking Rochester, also found on freaking iTunes, SoundCloud, Apple freaking Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, Google Play, and that's just about freaking it. Weakers, tweakers, thrill seekers. It has been 1 week since we last spoke, and we are so freaking hot and freaking for you. With me, as always, to my freaking left, we have freaking Doug Jordan, and then coming all the way from freaking Seattleite, New York, Seattle freaking Washington, we have freaking Sandy the Sandman freaking Farkas, Weakers, tweakers, and the freaking panel. Start your freaking engines. This is freaking Our Week in Review. Weakers, tweakers, thrill seekers, when we last left you, geez Louise, down on my knees, we had come up with a freaking brilliant freaking idea. A great freaking, maybe one of the best ideas we've ever collectively come up with. And as Weakers and tweakers out there know, when we put the three minds of ours together, we make some great things freaking happen here on the radio and across the freaking country. Geez Louise, down on my knees. We had a 9/11 Doug Jordan Memorial freaking barbecue, and it was just the greatest freaking time I ever had in my freaking life. Weakers, tweakers, thrill seekers, many of you freaking came out and supported us and supported freaking 9/11, and from now on, that freaking date will go down in freaking history as just the greatest freaking barbecue. Every time freaking 9/11 comes up, I'm just going to think about what a great freaking barbecue we freaking had, and I think we all in this room can freaking agree. Doug Jordan, how you doing? How you been? And how freaking are you?
I'm not and again, I wish you would stop asking me that every week. But I've been good. I think Weakers and tweakers out there are going to be surprised when I say this, but I actually had a pretty good time at the party, though it happened against my wishes. I was able to kind of decompress and relax and actually have a good time with my friends for once. So it was a good party.
Yeah. All the freaking stars were there. Arnold came out from my freaking group home. Sandy the Sandman Farkas made it all the way from freaking Seattle, freaking Washington. And geez Louise, Sandy, tell us a little bit about your freaking experience, how you did, how you're doing, and how freaking were you, and how freaking are you?
It was basically the best freaking barbecue, best freaking party I've ever freaking been to. I got freaking so incredibly freaking drunk. But it was the freaking barbecue that almost didn't happen for old freaking Sandy. The freaking souls freaking Sandy, same. It was the freaking barbecue that almost didn't happen for old freaking Sandy, Sandman. Sandy, Sandman Sandman Farkas, excuse me. Because I tell you what, I told them, look, I need some extra freaking time off, because I need to get back to my freaking roots. And they said, Sandy, we can't allow you to freaking go. And I said, my freaking roommate died. And they said, Sandy, that was freaking weeks ago. And I said, listen, there's a freaking barbecue that I need to go to, and my freaking roommate freaking died. So eventually they let me freaking go, but I am freaking suspended from work again. But freaking well worth it, because it's the freaking best barbecue I've ever freaking been to.
It was absolutely freaking out of this world. For Weakers and tweakers, freaking Stu Gotts came out. Yep, you freaking guessed it. Stu Gotts was absolutely freaking hilarious. Sandy the Sandman predicted he would do magic tricks, and he did one freaking great freaking magic trick. He freaking pulled his dangly freaking Johnson out and exposed himself to the freaking whole freaking party. And then during the freaking wet t-shirt contest that I was a freaking part of, and geez Louise, it made everybody freaking laugh and gasp.
Yeah,
it was freaking hilarious.
And freaking Sunjay brought over a big freaking thing of freaking baked freaking ziti, and I gotta tell you, for a freaking Indian fellow, that guy makes a freaking perfect freaking ziti.
Yeah, freaking Sunjay's freaking baked ziti was a freaking real hit of the freaking party. And then all of the freaking liquor that Sandy got his freaking hands on was also a freaking, maybe took first place. Just edged out freaking Sunjay's freaking baked ziti just by a hair. Unfortunately, my freaking massive amount of freaking egg salad went untouched by everybody, but it seemed to be me and freaking Arnold. And geez Louise, down on my knees, I did eat quite a freaking bit. And by the end of the night, I almost felt like I was freaking drunk. Weakers and tweakers out there know I don't drink my freaking self. But geez Louise, I was freaking feeling pretty freaking good off that freaking egg salad.
The thing about the fact that nobody touched your freaking egg salad was because you were very clearly freaking hoarding it, and you didn't offer it to anyone. And not to say that anyone would have indulged in your egg salad, which utilizes far too much freaking mayonnaise. But I definitely saw your freaking pockets full of freaking egg salad. and I saw, you were definitely freaking hoarding it.
Well, for most of the freaking night, I was freaking carrying it around with me, and just in case anybody that was mingling wanted to freaking wanted to grab a freaking bite, I was eating it with a large freaking cooking spoon, which I would have clearly used to dole some of the freaking portions out. I was hoping that people would bring freaking bread, as people often do when they go to parties, bring loaves of bread, and then they would hold their bread out, and I would scoop a little bit onto their freaking sandwich. Didn't freaking happen, but geez Louise, and it wasn't any old freaking egg freaking salad. Let me tell you, this was a freaking deviled egg freaking salad, which is just the most freaking delicious thing I ever had in my freaking life.
Yeah. Well, what are you gonna say?
Well, I was gonna tell you how to freaking make it.
Well, you can tell me. I wish that I could have tried it, but as Sandy said, you were kind of holding on pretty tight to that bowl the entire night.
The way you make this freaking deviled freaking egg salad is you boil 3 dozen of regular hard-boiled eggs, and then you boil another 3 dozen hard-boiled eggs. And the second 3 dozen hard-boiled eggs, you get rid of the freaking egg whites, and you just use the freaking egg yellows, and you just throw those freaking in with extra freaking mayo, and you mix that up, and then you combine the freaking 2 egg salads, one with just freaking egg yellows, and then a little freaking paprika at the end, and you got yourself a freaking deviled egg salad.
Well, if you
absolutely freaking ridiculous.
I mean, if you hard boiled them, wouldn't you think that the egg yellow from the ones where you didn't take the yellows out would just mix in with the other mayonnaise and stuff?
I think that's the freaking point, Doug Jordan. Circle gets the square. Geez Louise, down on my knees. The pool party was freaking gas because, yeah, as many weakers and tweakers out there suspected, we did have 2 freaking mud pits. And geez Louise, down on my knees. One mud pit was for all the freaking animals that were at the freaking party, as per requested by freaking Doug Jordan, so he could oogle and ogle at with his freaking boyfriend's freaking Sunjay. And the other one was for the freaking wet t-shirt contest and the freaking mud wrestling, which I also freaking partook in, and I almost freaking got killed by freaking Arnold, who is incredibly freaking strong. I went up against him and he almost freaking drowned me. Sandy had to get him off my freaking back.
Yeah, and imagine me freaking drunk as all freaking hell, trying to pry this, and this man is no joke. This is a freaking giant of a freaking man, and and as Wiggers and Twiggers, excuse me, don't ever interrupt. As Wiggers and Twiggers out there know, I am the freaking opposite of a freaking big man. I'm a freaking one might even say just a smidge above freaking petite, and I'm trying to pry this freaking monster off of freaking Taylor, because his freaking eyes were freaking rolling into the back of his head.
Yeah.
And imagine me freaking drunk as hell, and I got a little freaking stoned with freaking Doug Jr.
Yeah. Wait a minute, what?
I split a freaking joint with freaking Mike Doug Jr. behind the freaking tool shed.
I wish you hadn't done that. I guess I don't remember that part of the night, and I definitely
I gave him a little bit of booze too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freaking hilarious.
Well, I had thought he had gone to bed pretty early, and I. Oh gee. Yeah. I wish that didn't happen, and I don't remember anything about the wet T-shirt contest either. So I went to bed pretty early. I saw the mud pits in the yard, and
for weakers and tweakers out there who were wondering, yes, I freaking tweeted freaking Evan Dawson. I told him, if you're so freaking brave, and if you want to come after us all freaking day long, every day, 24/7, why don't you take that freaking bravery? You can bring anybody you freaking like and show up to the freaking Doug Jordan 9/11 Memorial freaking barbecue. And though the invitation was extended, he did not freaking show up.
And I gotta tell you, all in all, it was for the freaking best, because it felt so freaking good to take it just a freaking week off from this freaking radio war.
Yeah.
It was a huge freaking weight off my freaking shoulders. I was able to freaking play with myself that night like I haven't freaking played with myself in freaking weeks. It was good to freaking hang out with freaking Doug Jordan Jr. and his 2 freaking friends, Brandon and freaking and I can't for the life of me can't freaking remember what the other one's name was.
Yeah.
Probably Spencer.
Yeah, that was it. Brandon and freaking Spencer, and we freaking passed the freaking joint around, got freaking stoned as all freaking hell, and it just felt good to freaking relax. But as we all freaking know, every freaking vacation comes to a freaking end, and my freaking vacation ended shortly after the freaking barbecue when it was time to get back to freaking business.
Yeah. For weakers and tweakers out there, if they'd like to know what freaking Sandy is alluding to, we can go on a little freaking tale, because Sandy got very freaking drunk. as per freaking usual. And it was absolutely freaking hilarious. He was freaking screaming at people. He was freaking breaking bottles. He threatened a freaking police officer who was actually just freaking enjoying himself at the freaking barbecue. I think the guy had actually maybe been a first responder in 9/11. And geez Louise, down on my knees. Sandy
he was freaking off duty too.
Yeah, he was at his freaking throat. It was freaking hilarious. Basically, Sandy got the freaking idea that something must be freaking done about this freaking radio war. And Doug Jordan had gone to bed, and Doug, we haven't freaking told you about this, but Sandy and I, as the party was in its waning hours, we left in your freaking pickup truck, Sandy behind the freaking wheel, me in the freaking riding shotgun, and freaking big freaking mute freaking firebug freaking Arnold in the freaking back.
And Arnold is just freaking standing freaking the whole ride there, standing in the freaking bed of the truck. You can't freaking shake that guy. He's as solid as a freaking rock. Just standing there the whole freaking ride. Yeah. And imagine me freaking drunk as the freaking Dickens, swerving around, but he stood tall freaking and strong.
Yeah. We drove all the way to freaking WXXI freaking studios. Their freaking headquarters, with the intention of freaking sending Arnold into the freaking air duct system and burning the freaking place to the freaking ground. Doing what he freaking does best. He's a freaking firebug. Weakers and tweakers know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were finally going to freaking put this freaking war behind us. We're going to, freaking Evan Dawson has done everything he can to freaking bring the freaking war to me all the way across the freaking country.
Yeah.
And it was on freaking vacation. And excuse me, please don't ever interrupt me. It was while I'm freaking on vacation where I say, it's time I freaking bring the war right back to him. And I said, we're going to send your freaking mute freaking freak of our freaking roommate into the freaking belly of the beast. And we're going to set it ablaze.
Yeah. And mind you, freaking Sandy is at this point so freaking drunk. Just absolutely so freaking drunk. So he's freaking volatile.
May have been the freaking drunkest I've ever been in my freaking life.
And he's not being freaking quiet about any of this stuff, which is absolutely freaking hilarious. And he's driving like a freaking maniac. And so basically we're getting on our way down there, and we end up stopping at freaking 7-Eleven where we freaking load up on freaking some extra freaking snacks to soak up the freaking liquor. Actually, Arnold was drinking quite a bit at the freaking party. Never seen him drink before. And to be honest, and we'll get to this, I haven't seen him drink again, not even a glass of freaking water. He loaded up on a bunch of freaking snacks, and then we bought him a freaking burner cell phone so we could communicate with him while he's on the inside setting up the freaking blaze. We stopped at a gas station, filled 2 gas cans full of freaking gas, and grabbed a freaking box of freaking matches, and we were on our freaking way. WXXI freaking studios. The freaking headquarters. And in all likelihood, Dawson was there when we got there, but we didn't see him. He was elusive.
We're talking about the freaking belly of the beast here. We're talking about where it all freaking started. We're talking about the freaking epicenter of freaking evil and darkness and
where the radio war all freaking began.
Yeah.
So we freaking get there, and geez Louise, down on my freaking knees, it's actually not that freaking hard to find where the air duct vent is. There's just a big freaking blowing freaking mechanism on the outside of the freaking building there on freaking State Street. And so we freaking head over that way, and we had to have freaking Big Fat Arnold stand on the freaking roof. Geez Louise, we pry off the freaking vents on the outside, and Sandy and I do our freaking best standing on the hood of the roof of your freaking truck to hoist his giant walrus-like freaking legs into the freaking air duct vent. And once he was in there, we passed him the burner phone, the 2 cans of gasoline, the book of matches, and his snacks. And weakers, tweakers, thrill seekers, that was the last we have seen of freaking Arnold since that freaking day on 9/11. Wednesday, 9/11/2019.
At that point, I think it was actually 9/12. It was about
late.
It was about 2 in the freaking morning.
Yeah. So we haven't heard freaking hide nor hair. He is a big freaking man, so it is possible he got stuck in the freaking air duct vents. But luckily for him and for us, he's freaking quiet as a freaking mouse. This freaking guy, he doesn't make a freaking sound. So the chances of him being discovered in there is very freaking unlikely, and that is a win for the great radio wars here at freaking WAYO LP Rochester. Our week's in freaking review.
Yeah, and unfortunately, as far as we know, the freaking building is still standing. So Arnold, as of yet, is freaking unsuccessful in his freaking mission.
Yeah.
But that's not to say. Excuse me. Don't please stop interrupting me.
Yeah, you got it.
Excuse me. But that's not to say that it will never freaking happen. And I have total faith in freaking Arnold that when it feels right, he's gonna freaking set that building ablaze.
Yeah, here's the thing about freaking Arnold is absolutely freaking insane. He doesn't follow right or wrong. He follows the guiding light of freaking fire. And in the darkness of his heart burns a flame so bright it could probably, if given the right freaking resources, engulf the entire freaking world and take us all down. But if he's on your freaking side, you're in pretty freaking good shape. So we haven't freaking heard hide nor freaking hair of him. I have been getting some freaking phone calls. I'm assuming it's from the freaking burner phone, although I didn't record the freaking phone number down. And they've just been phone calls. I go, hello, hello. And geez Louise, all I hear on the other end is just some heavy freaking breathing. So I would wager to guess that's freaking Arnold. He's trying to tell me something. I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, so I got some questions.
All in all, it was a freaking great barbecue.
Yeah, it was absolutely. Yeah, some of the highlights of the freaking barbecue when Arnold got his hands on the freaking fireworks, that was freaking amazing. He didn't actually end up shooting them into the air. He just threw them in the bonfire, and they kind of just shot all over the place. They just kind of went in any direction because he just threw them in piles onto the freaking bonfire.
Yeah.
And but it was freaking hilarious. The wet t-shirt contest, the mud fights, Doug Jr. getting freaking stoned with Spencer, and geez Louise down on my knees when Stu Gotts freaking exposed himself. No freaking Tadia Risher, he didn't show up, which leads these two to believe that he is working for freaking Evan freaking Dawson, but he's actually doing it, as you guys informed me, under the guise of actually being a double agent for us.
So at what point did you guys just decide to leave Arnold in the friggin' air vents?
Immediately.
Almost freaking immediately.
We had to get out. We had to get out of there, Doug. And as far as Uyghurs and Tweakers are concerned, we were at the freaking barbecue the whole freaking time. So
Yeah.
But again, we found out on prior shows, anything you say on this is getting recorded, so it can be used against you.
That's why we got to get the tapes.
That's why we're saying now that we were at the freaking barbecue.
Yeah. Null and freaking void.
And we got to get the freaking tapes and have them freaking destroyed.
Yeah.
So, what I mean, you hoisted him up and you put him in the air vents and you sealed it back up. And then you immediately left right after you sealed it back up.
Congratulations, Doug. You were listening for once.
So I mean, did you guys stop to think that maybe you're the reason why he's stuck in the freaking air vents? If you screwed the duct back on?
I imagine he's stuck in there because he hasn't found his freaking target yet.
And if he was going to light the friggin' building on fire, you were going to lock him into the building by sealing the friggin' air vents?
I got to tell you, I never even freaking thought about that.
I mean, it would have made a lot more sense for you guys to leave it open and then wait for him to start it, and then he would freaking shimmy out of it. But
but the thing was, we freaking sealed that right up.
At one point, when we were planning this, I was thinking about getting him a bunch of balloons so that once he lights the fire, he could just grab the balloons and he would float out of the chimney.
And I quickly told Taylor, I said, that would never freaking work. I said, not only is there no freaking chimney in this freaking building, but there aren't enough freaking balloons in the world to lift this man. Actually, in that sentence, I believe I referred to him as a freaking ogre.
So, I mean, you know where he is. You can just go back to the building and unscrew the vent and let him out.
And we'd be playing right into freaking Dawson's hands.
Yeah, and I'm already freaking all the way across the freaking country. So
yeah.
So it's not my freaking problem. As far as I'm concerned, this isn't my freaking problem anymore.
And every time freaking Arnold has called and started breathing heavily into the phone, I said, just give me a sign, Arnold. And I said, you dug yourself into this hole. I have faith you can freaking burn your way out of it. So if he burns the building down, the whole freaking building comes down, and I don't really see what the freaking problem is at that point. Then he doesn't even have to get out of the freaking air vent. The whole building's freaking gone. He just gets out. The whole thing will be done. He'll melt it all.
Yeah, but he would also freaking burn down with it.
I got a feeling he wouldn't. I don't know why.
My next question was, if Arnold is the friggin' biggest guy out of the three of you, why would you choose him and not friggin' Sandy to do it? Air vents are usually pretty friggin' small.
I'm not a freaking firebug, Doug.
Yeah. That's a job for a freaking firebug. And Arnold knows what he's freaking doing.
Also, he's the perfect person to get freaking interrogated because he's not gonna say a freaking word.
Yeah, mum's the freaking word with Arnold.
I mean, he could probably write, right? He could probably write down that friggin' Sandy Farkas and Taylor Lofton friggin' made me do this.
No, I don't think he can write. I've never seen him write. I've never seen him speak or write.
Well,
or sign, and also his fingers are like freaking ping pong paddles. So I don't even know if he can hold a pen.
I gotta tell you, I really hope he can freaking write, because if he can freaking write, we're gonna have to freaking. Well, I don't want to say it, but we're gonna have freaking Arnold freaking taken care of.
So he's been trapped in there for a week now. I mean, almost a week.
Yeah, just a few days under a freaking week.
And he's been there for a while.
How many snacks did he freaking buy?
He bought candy bars and some M&M's, donuts. Probably enough for a week. I don't know. I don't know how much he eats. He eats quite a bit.
Okay. There was a freaking sack of pretzels in there, too.
I tried to give him the freaking eggs, some of the egg salad, but I had finished it at that point.
All right, well, here's what we're going to do. After the show, Taylor and I are going to go let him out of the friggin' air vent if he's even still in there.
No,
Taylor,
no freaking way. That we'd be playing right into freaking Dawson's hand.
No.
I really can't. I can't freaking allow you to do that. We're going to need to freaking put this idea of yours to freaking rest immediately.
So you're going to let him freaking die in the air vents?
He might already be dead.
This is the freaking great radio war, and you're going to freaking let Arnold freaking die in the air vents?
There are freaking casualties of war, Doug.
I believe that nobody gets freaking left behind, and we got to go back and we got to get freaking Arnold out of there.
Well, I'm gonna keep me out of it.
Of course you're gonna be out of it. You're in freaking Seattle, so yeah. Taylor and I are gonna go back and we're gonna freaking let him out. I'm sure the people at your freaking. I don't think
that's a good idea.
I'm sure the people at the freaking group home. I'm sure they're freaking worried about him at the group home.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Are they freaking worried about him?
Yeah. Yeah, they're very freaking worried, and they've been asking me, and I said my freaking hands are tied here, because I can't begin to tell you where he is. I have no freaking idea. So either way, all's well that freaking ends well.
Hell of a freaking barbecue.
Yeah, and it was all in the name of a freaking good cause, and we actually made quite a good deal of money because we were collecting door fees at the freaking entrance of your gate, the gate of your freaking yard. And you got a beautiful home, Doug, and a beautiful wife. And your freaking son is starting to freaking grow on me now that he's getting drunk and getting stoned, which is hilarious. Absolutely freaking hilarious.
I wish you guys wouldn't do that, and if you did, I wish you hadn't talked about it on the radio.
Yeah. Noted.
Yeah. It's official. Doug Jr. is a freaking stoner, but that's all we're going to freaking say about it. And after that, we're going to freaking keep it off the radio.
Yeah, we won't say any more about him smoking weed at the freaking party, or if he continues to do it, or any more about it at all.
He got so freaking stoned that he released a freaking turd right there in your freaking backyard in front of all of us. I said, that's the freaking funniest thing I've ever freaking seen.
I don't think my son got so high that he pulled his pants down and freaking pooped in the freaking yard.
Yeah, he did, and it's still, and as far as I know, it's still freaking back there, and you can go look for it if you want. If you really want to freaking argue with me about this, you were freaking fast asleep, and I was getting freaking stoned with your freaking son.
I mean, if you were freaking drunk, maybe you saw the freaking dog freaking take a poop in the
I know the difference between a dog and a boy, Doug.
And as much as you freaking drink it, sometimes I don't think that you freaking do.
Also, that freaking dog is hilarious. That's the ugliest, freaking smelliest dog I've ever seen in my life. And you freaking love that thing. You were letting it freaking lick you all over, and I said, I can't believe he's freaking has the freaking breath on that thing. My God.
Well, I like the dog. He's a nice freaking dog.
He's freaking rotting from the inside.
Maybe you're just freaking smelling your own freaking breath.
No, Sandy's breath smells just like pure grain alcohol.
There's nothing wrong about my freaking dog. Freaking love that dog.
I got to tell you, you got to freaking put that freaking thing down.
Yeah, getting that dog was the freaking worst thing we ever did for you because it's freaking falling apart.
It's a freaking curse, that dog.
Yeah.
Poor thing.
Yeah.
You ever seen Old Yeller, Doug?
Yeah, I've seen freaking Old Yeller.
Well, why don't you just skip to the end with that dog and just take care of it?
The dog is fine. He's living a freaking happy life. I like my freaking dog.
Here's what we need to do. We need to freaking Old Yeller your dog. We need to freaking have Mice and Men freaking Arnold and freaking just call it a freaking day.
No, we're going to get freaking Arnold back tonight.
Arnold will complete the mission.
He did.
Pretty sure he's going to complete the freaking mission. And then all's well that ends well. Weakers, tweakers, thrill seekers, we got a great freaking show for you, full of freaking news and discussins, which are up next. And if you want to call in and freaking comment, join in on the freaking discussion, you can call 513-914-6201. That is the R Week freaking hotline. And geez Louise, down on my knees, we would love to freaking hear from you. Tell us what we're doing right, tell us what we're doing wrong, and you might get put on freaking blast. You also might get a freaking prize or two. Last week, talk show host Ellen DeGeneres revealed that she once dated one of Brad Pitt's former girlfriends during an interview with the actor on The Ellen DeGeneres Show, according to E! News. While making promotional rounds for his latest space drama movie, Ad Astra, Pitt revealed that during a pool party at Melissa Etheridge's home in the 90s, DeGeneres hit on the actor's then-girlfriend. After the two laughed about the situation, which Pitt described as flattering, DeGeneres hinted at the fact that she dated another one of the movie star's flings. The two agreed that they would not talk further about the situation on the air, as the host said she would further explain the details after the freaking show.
All right, next story.
So,
That was a freaking bad one.
Last week, an 18-karat solid gold toilet was stolen from the Blenheim Palace in Oxfordshire, England, according to the BBC. The golden commode had been installed recently at the former home of Winston Churchill, now a museum, by Italian conceptual artist, oh, geez Louise, down on my knees, Maurizio Catalan. According to reports by Thomas Valley Police, a gang broke into the palace and stole the freaking toilet. The installation, entitled America, was set up in working order and invited use of the public. During the burglary, significant water damage occurred due to the disrupted plumbing. Although the toilet has yet to be recovered, a 66-year-old man has been arrested in connection to the theft. Last month, Edward Spencer Churchill, half-brother of the current Duke of Marlborough, said he was not concerned with the security of the John. "It's not going to be the easiest thing to nick," Spencer Churchill said.
Jeez Louise, look at all these freaking, jeez, Edward Spencer freaking Churchill, freaking Duke of Marlborough, freaking Thames Valley freaking Police.
Yeah.
And the easiest thing to nick, what does that even freaking mean?
This freaking story it's written as though the television show freaking Game of Thrones was freaking back on, if you know what I freaking mean.
Yeah.
We have the freaking Duke of Windsor and the Earl of Spencer, and we have freaking Thames Court and a freaking golden toilet, the throne, if you freaking will, to the freaking king. And if you give me freaking 5 minutes on that toilet, it wouldn't be freaking gold anymore. Let me tell you that, weakers and tweakers. Jeez Louise, down on my freaking knees. If they would have their freaking work cut out for them, they'd wish somebody freaking stole it if I got my freaking hands on that freaking toilet.
Well, I think what the guy was talking about, something to Nick, I think he was talking about it because it's made of gold. It's pretty freaking heavy, so it'd be hard to freaking steal.
The thing about this is that, and Weakers and Tweakers know this, there are freaking two things I hate in this world, and the first one is freaking British people, and I don't like the way they talk, or the way they freaking look, or the way they... there's not a thing in the world that I freaking like about them. I don't like their freaking names. I don't like the words they choose to freaking say.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And the other freaking thing I hate in this world is freaking Evan Dawson. So...
Yeah, either way, all's well that freaking ends well, I guess. Last week, news headlines picked up on a story of a white New Jersey couple who gave birth to an Asian baby, according to CNN. The couple, who utilized in vitro fertilization at the R.W.J. Barnabas Health Institute for Reproductive Medicine and Science, were surprised when they noticed that the child began to develop, quote, Asian features around the age of 2. After conducting a DNA test, the couple found out that the clinic used the wrong sperm in the fertilization process. The child, a 6-year-old girl, has not yet been told about her genetic origins. The couple, who have since divorced, refused to speak publicly as the case is still in freaking litigation. So, Doug, is it possible that somebody else's sperm was used to make a freaking Doug Jr., and maybe that's why he's ending up being a little bit freaking cooler than you are when he's smoking weed and getting drunk now?
No, I mean he's my freaking son. I haven't done a DNA test, but I know he's mine.
Doug, have you ever been freaking worried that due to some freaking mix-up or freaking mishap, maybe it was my freaking sperm that made freaking Doug Jr.?
How would that even be freaking possible?
Anything's freaking possible.
Yeah, anything is freaking possible. We got a freaking mute freak in a freaking air duct downtown.
Yeah, that's freaking true. Arnold, if you're freaking listening, and I don't know how you would be, but if you freaking are, could you please freaking complete the freaking mission? It is absolutely freaking imperative. Our lives freaking depend on you.
I mean, the only thing he's probably listening to is freaking Evan Dawson trapped in the WXXI building.
Yeah, he's freaking playing him. Probably, he freaking plays himself when he's in that freaking panic room too. You know that, right?
I mean, I would be worried about him getting freaking brainwashed by freaking Evan Dawson being trapped in there.
That's a good freaking point. That's a scary freaking point.
The last thing we need is a freaking firebug coming after us.
And the last thing we need is Dawson to hear the freaking show and freaking start banging on the freaking air ducts.
Yeah, honestly, me being the freaking father of your son is the least of our freaking worries.
Yeah.
I mean, you're definitely not the father of my son.
But what if through some freaking mishap or freaking mix-up, it was my freaking sperm that wound up in your freaking wife and created freaking Doug Jr.? Maybe that's why he likes freaking getting drunk and freaking smoking freaking weed.
Yeah, it'd be hilarious. Absolutely freaking hilarious.
I guess you like freaking smoking weed too.
Yeah, you know what? I do like freaking smoking weed. And you know what? You don't freaking like it. So that's a proof that he's my freaking son.
Well, the jury is still out on that one, but Circle does get the square for freaking Doug Jordan letting his freaking hair down once in a while and freaking smoking some freaking weed. It's freaking hilarious, and we praise you for it here at WAYOLQ freaking Rochester and on our Week in Review. So that's 2, Doug. You're actually beating Tadia for once because he hasn't freaking called me. Last week, President Donald Trump said that Hamza bin Laden, the son of Osama bin Laden, was killed during a counterterrorism operation somewhere in Pakistan-Afghanistan region, according to NPR. The White House released a statement confirming the death of the al-Qaeda leader, but did not say when bin Laden had been killed. Although al-Qaeda traditionally confirms the death of those in leadership positions, the terror group has not yet released a statement concerning Hamza bin Laden's death. Hamza bin Laden was said to be the favorite son of Osama bin Laden, who was killed in 2011 during a Navy SEAL raid in Pakistan. And so, you know what has me freaking worried is that the freaking Al-Qaeda they never freaking confirmed his freaking death, and maybe he's working for freaking Dawson. Is it possible? And what would he be doing working for Dawson, and what would he do against us if he came after us, Doug Jordan?
Doug, what if by some freaking mishap or a freaking mix-up, the freaking it was actually the sperm that created your freaking son was actually freaking Osama bin Laden's, and you have no freaking idea, but you're actually raising freaking the son of freaking Osama freaking bin Laden, freaking terrorist.
That's a good freaking point. And does that put you at risk for a counter-terrorism airstrike?
Well, I mean,
or a drone strike.
If my son was Osama bin Laden's, then he would have been freaking killed in 2011 during a Navy SEAL raid in Pakistan.
No, that's bin Laden himself.
Osama himself.
That's bin Laden.
Oh, I see. Oh, there was a comma there that I okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's. He's definitely. I don't think he's Osama bin Laden's son, and he's definitely not yours. He's definitely my freaking son.
He's a good boy, but we can't say for sure that he's not Osama bin Laden's son. That's for certain. That's absolutely 100% true.
Maybe that's freaking Dawson freaking pulling the strings, you know, trying to get to you. You think you spent all these freaking years raising a boy, and turns out he's freaking Osama bin Laden's freaking son. And you guessed it. Guess who's freaking pulling the freaking strings? Freaking Dawson. He got the freaking sperm. He probably freaking pulled it right out of freaking bin Laden back in the freaking day.
Wouldn't surprise me one freaking bit. I mean,
they're freaking playing with each other.
Here's the thing. I mean, freaking bin Laden. The thing is, freaking Dawson and freaking bin Laden have been hand in hand.
They're basically the same freaking guy. They're Doug. They are freaking inseparable.
I don't think that they know each other. I think that they're just two guys. Ivan Dawson we dislike for certain reasons, and freaking Osama bin Laden we dislike for certain reasons. I don't think they're the same freaking guy.
I think they basically share a freaking loincloth, if you know what I mean, of the same freaking kilt.
They're cut from the same freaking jib, Doug. They're both freaking absolute freaking. They're both freaking evil.
Yeah, and only one of them is a threat to us now, Evan Dawson, because bin Laden is freaking dead. And maybe if he does freaking brainwash Arnold and takes him over and sets him on us, maybe we can get a freaking counter airstrike against him. Is that possible? And when will we start doing that? Last week, a California man was arrested after he falsely reported that a mass shooting was going to take place at the Los Angeles County Fair in order to avoid attending the event with his parents, according to Fox News. Eric Villasenor allegedly sent out an email warning the staff of the fair that he had been told that someone was planning a mass shooting at the fairgrounds. The event staff quickly notified the police, who collaborated with the FBI. After a brief investigation, authorities identified Villasenor as the suspect, and upon interrogation, the 22-year-old admitted that the email had been a hoax. According to police, Villasenor's intention was to avoid going to the fair with his parents in the days to come. Villasenor was arrested and is being held at Pomona City freaking jail. Geez Louise, down on my knees. This honestly sounds like something freaking Doug Jr. would do to avoid going to a freaking state fair with you. Doug Jordan, I want to ask you this. What do you think they freaking did to this Villasenor while he was being interrogated? Did they freaking waterboard him, torture him a little bit? I mean, you're the one that knows most about torture and how to implement that on another human being. What would you do if you knew this guy had some information and you needed to get it out of him quick? Would you lock him basically in a box, put him underneath your bed and sweat him out for a little while? Or would you go right for the matches or burn little pieces of freaking cotton between his toes?
I mean, okay.
Maybe pull out his fingernails or something.
I mean, it seems like you know way more about freaking torture than I do. I don't know anything about freaking torture, and there definitely isn't a little man that I keep in a freaking box under my bed. That's not true. That's something that you guys freaking say from time to time.
It's freaking hilarious.
Not true. I think that they probably just asked him, what his intentions were, and I bet you he fessed up real quick and said, I don't want to go to the freaking fair with my mom and dad. And they said, okay, well, you're going to freaking jail.
Well, we kind of just wrapped that one freaking all up for us, didn't you?
I mean, what else? I mean, I don't think that they tortured the guy.
I mean, I'm trying to just have a freaking conversation about this. I'm trying to bring this story to light on the air and try to get into all avenues and all ways in to a better freaking perspective for weakers, tweakers, thrill seekers, and definitely freaking mayo tarts. And and you kind of just cut it right off, didn't you? You kind of just you found a clear path to the head and cut it off. And was that what you would do if you were interrogating him? And how well would that work if you just cut his freaking head off? Then he'd be dead.
Well, no, I mean, I don't think he got tortured. I think if I want to talk about anything, it's about the fact that he called in a fake mass shooting threat to a freaking state fair where thousands of people are going to be, and just so he didn't have to freaking go with his parents. I think that's a little freaking messed up.
Do you think that maybe he has parents and he was going to be so embarrassed by them? And maybe Sandy can answer that because Sandy's dad was a freaking
Never once in my life have I been embarrassed about my freaking father.
But you dated a freaking that...
Well, yeah. That's embarrassing. Because I'm not freaking having sex with my freaking father.
Yeah.
I would never have sex with my freaking dad. I don't know if he's freaking alive or not. I certainly wouldn't. If he's freaking dead, I definitely wouldn't freaking have sex with him either.
Yeah.
I am freaking drunk.
Last week, a California woman underwent surgery after she swallowed her engagement ring in her sleep, according to NBC News. Jenna Evans explained that she was on a high-speed train with her fiancé when a group of, quote, bad guys entered the car when she was seated. In order to secure her 2.4-carat diamond engagement ring, Evans decided to swallow the small object. Moments later, Evans awoke and realized that the incident had been a vivid dream. However, her engagement ring was missing. Evans, who is said to be a sleepwalker, quickly realized she had swallowed a ring in her sleep and awoke her fiancé to tell him what happened. The couple rushed to the gastroenterologist, where surgeons were successful in recovering the ring. The 29-year-old and fiancé Bobby Howell planned to marry in May of 2020.
I got a question. Were you going to say something?
No, yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, Taylor, what's the craziest thing you ever freaking swallowed in your sleep?
Sometimes I have two freaking dreams. So I'll start with the first one. Sometimes, lately, I've been having dreams about freaking getting up in the middle of the night and eating egg salad out of the freaking fridge. And then I'll wake up and I'll be absolutely freaking covered in freaking egg salad. Now, I have another freaking dream, a more devious freaking dream, a dirtier freaking dream, one that's harder to freaking talk about on the freaking radio. But sometimes I have a freaking dream where I have the freaking ability to put my mouth on a certain part of my freaking body that isn't physically possible to be able to do that. And I wake up and geez Louise, down on my knees, though I haven't done it, I know that I've almost been there. And sometimes I have a freaking dream, geez Louise, down on my freaking knees, that I'm freaking playing with myself, and I wake up and I'm just freaking playing with myself. And I gotta tell you, sometimes that dream and the dream about me eating egg salad freaking happen at the same freaking time, and it is a freaking absolute freaking mess in that bed when I wake up. Covered in freaking egg salad, playing with myself, and I'm not sure what's in my freaking mouth. It's freaking hilarious.
Have you had these dreams at the group home since you've been there?
Yeah. Fairly regularly. Let me ask you a freaking question, Doug Jordan. Do you ever wake up in the middle of the freaking night after having a dream about freaking Sanjay and you're freaking driving to the place that the two of you meet up for your rendezvous late night sex orgies?
No. But one time I had a dream that a spider crawled down my freaking throat, and then I woke up and there was a freaking spider right in front of me. So that freaked me out.
Sandy, what do you freaking dream about?
I don't think I freaking do dream.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that what I do is considered freaking sleep.
Yeah. Just gets freaking
I
drunk.
just get freaking drunk, yeah.
Yeah. It's freaking hilarious. Absolutely freaking hilarious.
But there are some times where I come to and I realize I'm freaking playing with myself. But it must have been a freaking awake the whole freaking time.
Yeah.
I can't say I freaking snapped out of it because I don't know what I was freaking in. But basically, I'll realize that I can't recall anything prior to freaking playing with myself. And I'll freaking ride it all the way to the end. I freaking finish.
And then is that when you come to when you freaking finish, or is it when you're?
Don't freaking be disgusting, Doug.
I'm just curious.
No, I freaking come to and I go, wow, what is happening? What is freaking happening here? And I go, well, might as well freaking see it through, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't ask too many freaking questions. I don't try to figure out what freaking just happened. I just say, well, I chalk it up to the freaking booze, probably a freaking bottle of freaking brown, and I freaking play with myself. And you better freaking believe I freaking play with myself.
Yeah, and all's well that freaking ends well.
Does that ever happen when you're not playing with yourself? Maybe it's someone else?
What are these freaking questions? Yeah, it happens.
I'm just curious.
Well, you're asking, do I ever freaking come to and I'm in a freaking place and I don't know how I freaking got there or what I'm freaking doing?
Yeah.
Freaking all the time. I gotta tell you, actually, that's what happened when I freaking borrowed your freaking car and drove to freaking WXXI. Basically, I freaking came to while freaking shoving freaking that freaking oaf into a freaking air duct, and I just freaking went with it. I don't even think I mentioned to Taylor, but yeah, I couldn't believe. I don't remember freaking driving your freaking car or going to freaking 7-Eleven.
Yeah, it was freaking hilarious too, and you were being freaking absolutely freaking hilarious and volatile, and very freaking loud, very freaking loud.
Yep.
Last week, news media outlets picked up on a story of a woman who hasn't eaten anything but cheese sandwiches for nearly 30 years, according to the Mirror. April Griffith, a 29-year-old mother of two, says she hasn't been able to stomach the thought of eating anything but cheese sandwiches since she was a toddler due to a food phobia. Concurrently, the woman from Nuneaton, jeez Louise, Warwick.
Good Lord, it's these freaking. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nuneaton. That's crazy that she's from a town called Nuneaton, and all she eats is freaking cheese sandwiches.
I was just about to say the same thing.
Nuneaton. Thank you, Doug. Nuneaton, Warwickshire, England, has shelled out a small fortune on hypnotherapy to attempt to counteract her fear of food. Griffiths admits that after many Griffith Jeez, it's Griffiths. How are you freaking supposed to say that? Griffiths admits that after many hypnotherapy sessions, she was able to eat rice for a brief time. Since the mother of two has fallen under hard times lately, she has been unable to maintain her therapy sessions and has returned to sustaining herself on cheese freaking sandwiches. Sometimes I have a cheese toasty to mix it up, Griffin said, but I must eat it when the cheese is hot because I start to gag as it cools down and the texture changes. So, Doug Jordan, I just want to ask you real quick, on a scale of freaking 1 to freaking 10, what the heck is a freaking cheese toasty?
Well, I don't know if I can.
A scale of 1 to 10, Doug. What is a cheese toasty?
It's not a freaking scale question. You're just asking what is it?
Well, it is a scale question. We said on a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah, I gave you the freaking scale. Now you give me the answer. What is a cheese toasty?
Well, how am I going to rank something? How am I going to rank what something is on a scale from 1 to freaking 10?
What? You just said it. It's either freaking 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's the freaking scale.
And what the heck is it?
Well, do you want the scale and then what is it? Or do you want me to rank what it is?
I want you to stop doing bad freaking radio right now.
I'm just confused by the freaking question.
Okay, let me ask.
Say the freaking question again.
I'm going to rephrase it so it makes more sense. On a scale of 1 to freaking 10, what is a freaking cheese toasty?
You just asked me the exact same freaking question.
I
didn't.
I don't think so. And
I guess it's 5.
Yeah.
And it's a grilled cheese. A cheese toasty is just a freaking grilled cheese. They just call it a cheese toasty in freaking England.
So the answer was freaking 5?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I guess it's 5.
Yeah.
Like maybe.
I don't know if I agree with that, but
I mean, it's for me a grilled cheese is it's a 10. But if you were asking me to say what it is and give a number to it, I would say a 5.
All right, well, thank you, Doug. Last week, the doctor in charge of caring for Britney Spears died amid legal proceedings to look into whether the 37-year-old singer was receiving proper medical care, according to TMZ. Dr. Timothy Benson's cause of death has yet to be determined, though sources claim it may have been a brain aneurysm that killed the 48-year-old psychiatrist. The timing of Benson's death is significant due to an ongoing 3-month investigation into the mental health care that Spears received under Benson. Spears has been under conservatorship of her father, Jamie Spears, after her most recent mental health breakdown. Father Jamie most recently has asked to step down from the role of conservatorship amid his ailing health. So here's the freaking hilarious, freaking weird thing about this. I did a little research into the Spears freaking family tree, and it appears that freaking Britney Spears' father goes by freaking Jamie Spears. Her sister, one of his daughters, is named Jamie Lynn Spears, and she's married to a guy named freaking Jamie freaking Watson.
That's too many Jamies in one family.
Yeah. And apparently freaking conservatorship is basically the same thing as being a freaking ward of the freaking state.
Yeah, except conservatorship is what your freaking parents refuse to freaking do for you.
Yeah. If they had only done that, I would just have that. But instead, I actually prefer being a ward of the state at this point. I'm so freaking used to it. So, Britney Spears, if you're out there freaking listening, go ahead, call 513-914-6201. We'd love to hear from you and hear how you're freaking doing, and we'd love to freaking put you on blast. That time you shave your freaking head and you're getting old, and I can't believe she's only freaking 36. Is that what it said?
I was thinking the same freaking thing. 37 years old. I go, she has been freaking around forever. How is she not freaking older than that?
And she looks older than that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, she's not looking too good.
Remember how crazy everybody went for freaking J-Lo on her 50th birthday when people just couldn't even handle that picture of her in her bathing suit. They couldn't handle it.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
That was a whole freaking news story.
Yeah, nobody could handle it. Yeah, nobody could handle it. Yeah.
And I saw a freaking preview for that freaking stripper movie she's in. Jeez, freaking Louise.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got. I don't think it's freaking safe to freaking put that in freaking theaters. Get people in a freaking dark room. Freaking lights go out. Freaking that movie starts. You're gonna have a whole lot of people freaking playing with themselves in this freaking theater.
See, that's the thing. I would love to do a freaking sight unseen about that, but I feel like even talking about it, I'd end up getting freaking freaking.
Yeah. Even talking about it right now, just remembering the freaking preview, I gotta tell you, I got a freaking urge to freaking play with myself.
Yeah, whoops, it just happened. So, Weakers, Tweakers out there, you can go ahead and freaking wrap your mind around what is going on in my trousers, because geez Louise, too late. Doug Jordan?
Oh, I was going to bring out, have you heard the thing about people thinking Britney Spears is trying to communicate through the emojis she uses on her Instagram page? There's a big conspiracy theory about it.
What's...
That she's
the freaking body on J-Lo, though.
Yeah.
I mean, what were they freaking thinking? Putting her freaking front and center in a freaking movie where she's freaking dancing and freaking moving her, and it's just freaking. I'm sorry, Doug. What were you freaking saying?
Oh, it was just.
I'm sorry. What were you freaking babbling about?
It's just something I heard about. Somebody, she uses strange emojis when she'll post something, and then people are thinking maybe it's a.
I just can't
message.
freaking get over the freaking look of freaking J-Lo. Though, and I haven't even seen her in that freaking stripper movie, but oh my god, I'm just imagining her dancing on a freaking.
There's a part where she freaking wraps around the freaking pole, and she's pretty close to being freaking naked, and it's got a freaking R rating, so I'm thinking, maybe.
Yeah. Weakers, Tweakers, Thrill Freaking Seekers, thank you so much for freaking listening to freaking our Week in Review. This has been a freaking absolutely freaking hilarious freaking episode. Jeez Louise, down on my knees. The Doug Jordan Memorial 9/11 freaking barbecue will be a reoccurring freaking yearly thing that we do every freaking year. And yes, you are all freaking invited. Weakers, Tweakers, Thrill Seekers. Doug Jordan, thank you so much for freaking doing this show. Thank you for having the freaking barbecue. You are a freaking great freaking co-host and a great freaking friend. Although we won't be getting freaking Arnold because he's got a freaking job to do. So,
yeah, I was just gonna say, don't butter me up. We're gonna get in the car and we're gonna go freaking pick up Arnold from WXXI.
I cannot stress enough that is a freaking bad idea.
You can't leave a man to friggin' die in the friggin' air vents of a friggin' public radio station.
Casualty of war, Doug.
It's freaking might be freaking God's will. And if he needed help, he could always freaking set the place on freaking fire and get attention that way. That's what he's always done. That's his only way to communicate is through fire. Weakers, Tweakers, Thrill Seekers, thank you so much for listening. We freaking love you. We'll see you. We always want to be you. And we'll see you freaking next week. Can't go freaking get him. He's got a job to do.
We gotta go freaking get him.
No, he's either gonna freaking set the building on fire or he's gonna freaking die in the freaking vents.
He will die if he sets the freaking building on fire by being in the vents.
But if he dies in there, then we'll get Dawson through the smell of his body.
If he freaking dies in there, perfect crime. Freaking evidence is destroyed.
Exactly.
Except for all of the evidence of you guys talking about how you put him in the air duct and you also latched it back up. I mean, if he dies in there, you guys could both go to freaking jail for murder.
We were at the freaking barbecue.